Hello boys, welcome back to another session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 11th biology students, and this is meant for 13th October 2020, and we are into the revision mode. And as all of you know, we are revising chapter number 3, Plant Kingdom, or we say Division Plantae. In our last session we were talking about algae and bryophytes. In that bryophytes, we were talking about most important one, that bryophytes are the amphibians of plant kingdom, and we were also talking about the sex organs that are present in this. They are multicellular, they are jacketed. The male sex organ is called antheridium, which produces flagellate male gametes called antherozoids. The female sex organ, on the other hand, is called archegonium, and it is a flask shaped. It produces a simple egg and a single egg. Fertilization occurs with the agency of water. That's the reason why we say it is amphibians of the plant kingdom. The antherozoids are released into the water where they swim and come in contact with archegonium. Okay, come in contact with the archegonium. An antherozoid enter archegonium, fuses with the egg to produce the zygote. Zygotes do not undergo reduction division immediately. They produce a multicellular body called sporophyte. Some cells of the sporophyte undergo reduction division to produce haploid spores. These spores germinate to produce gametophyte. This is how we said alternation of generation will be taking place. Moving ahead, we are today going to discuss about the third group of bryophytes. It is, as all of you know, bryophytes are classified into three groups. One is Hepaticopsida, liverworts. That's what we were discussing in our previous session. Second group is Anthoceratopsida, and the third one that we are going to discuss today is Bryopsida, mosses. Okay, so the common name for Bryopsida is mosses, M-O-S-S-E-S, and you are seeing the example for this we are going to study is Markantia, and in that we are going to study about the male thallus and the female thallus. So in male thallus you can see rhizoids at the base, root-like structures, and then gemmacups, the asexual vegetative parts that reproduce and produce the adult one, and archegoniospore, archegonio, female reproductive organ. Similarly, in the female one, rhizoids, gemmacups, and antheridiophore, anther. Okay, so thalloid, protonema, and leafy gametophore, multicellular rhizoids with oblique septa division. Sex organs develop from the superficial cells at the apex of leaf gametophore, differentiated into foot, seta, and capsule. Let's see. Yes, you can see here foot. There is a foot, seta, and capsule, and the sporogenous tissue develops from outer layer of endothecium. Inner layer forms sterile columella, and the dehiscence of the capsule is regular, and normally we see them in moist places. So basically the gametophyte of mosses consists of two stages. First stage is protonema stage, which develops directly from spores. It's a creeping green and frequently filamentous. So protonema is a green structure, a carpet-like structure. The second stage is the leafy stage, which develops from secondary protonema as a lateral bud having upright, slender axis bearing spirally arranged leaves. So leafy structure. Vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation and budding in secondary protonema. In sexual reproduction, sex organs are antheridia, male, archegonia, female, are produced at the apex of leafy shoots, just now I showed. Sporophytes in masses are more developed and consist of foot, seta, and capsule. Common examples, of course, Fineria and sphagnum and polytrichum. So this is how the sporophyte structure will be there. And in pteridophytes, of course, in pteridophytes we have got spore producing cryptogrammic vascular plants. Okay, these are vascular plants. They have vascular tissue, of course, xylem and phloem. In xylem, true vessels are absent, whereas in phloem, companion cells and sieve tubes are absent. Instead, sieve cells are present. That means in pteridophytes, just the vascular tissues started. The leaves in pteridophytes are very small, as you are seeing here, very small leaves. We call them as microphyls, as in Selaginella, and sometimes it will be large. If the leaves are large, we say macrophyls, as in ferns. Plant body is a sporophyte, differentiated into true root, stem, and leaves. So we are able to differentiate this. It's not a thallus, right? The sporophyte bears sporangia that are having leafy appendages called sporophylls. The sporangia produce spores by meiosis, and the spore mother cells, we say SMCs, spore mother cells will undergo meiosis, that is reduction division, and produce spores. So this is what happens in this. The sporophylls may be widely scattered on a plant or may be clustered in different areas and structures called cones or strobilae. You say strobilae, like in Selaginella and Equisteum. Spores may be similar. If the spores are similar, we say homosporous, as in majority of pteridophytes like pteris. And it can be heterosporous also, with the two types of spores, microspores and megaspores, like in Selaginella. The spores germinate to give rise to inconspicuous, small but multicellular, free-living, mostly photosynthetic thalloid gametophyte called prothallus. So here is that word, prothallus. So sporophyte is going to give rise to gametophyte. The gametophyte bears multicellular, jacketed sex organs, antheridia and archegonia. Fertilization in all the cases is accomplished by agency of water. Water is still requirement for the fertilization. The fusion of flagellated male gamete and an egg restores the diploid chromosome number 2n and results in the formation of the zygote. So zygote will be formed because of the fertilization. The zygote undergoes repeated divisions to form new sporophyte. So first sporophyte gave rise to gametophyte, and now gametophyte is giving birth back to sporophyte. That's why we say alternation of generations. So here sporophyte is a dominant phase, and because of the presence of spores. Pteridophytes can be classified into 4 groups, as you are seeing here, that is Silapsida. So example is Silotum, Lycopsida, Lycopodium example, and Selaginella itself, and Spinapsida, Equisteum, and then Pterapsida, that is Pteris. Can remember. So this is how the pteridophytes are classified. Okay, and we'll see in our next class gymnosperms. Okay, until then, keep writing the notes, post your doubts in the group, and keep a separate homework book. Whatever I have posted, the question answers of this chapter, I hope you have already written. And while writing, any doubt, please post it. Let us discuss.